Today we'll be talking about the Amazfit GTR3. So this is my all new everyday wearer. Now I've actually upgraded from the Garmin Venu 2. I know what you're thinking, Garmin Venu 2, that's such a premium brand. Garmin Venu 2, that's a premium watch. It costs £390 or around the $400 mark. So at least twice more expensive than the Amazfit GTR3. Well, yes, but here you get a better display. You get a faster CPU. Here I get a rotatable crown, which helps me move around the menus quicker. Also, I get an inbuilt microphone. I can use Alexa. I have an offline assistant. I've got the Pi, the personal activity index here. I've got so many features in this much more budget watch, but it's so much better to look at. It's lighter and I just get more out of it. But in this particular video, we'll be discussing my favorite 5 features of the Amazfit GTR3 and why I think it is such a great smartwatch. Let's get into it.
If you are new to Wesknows Tech News and Reviews, we talk about the latest tech news. We do brutally honest reviews and share hacks and tricks along the way.
First of all, let's talk about the display, because this is the face of it that you'll be looking at most of the time when using the actual watch. So here you get 1.39 inches of pure AMOLED display. The display quality is absolutely amazing. I've actually got a dynamic face on here and you can see how bright, how smooth and fluid it is. Also, you get 326 ppi here. So this is pretty much premium grade. That's what you get on the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. This is basically the standard setter. Now, of course, there are some resolutions which are slightly higher, but of course the price you will pay is also higher. But enough about the resolution. This screen can actually be visible very well in any light condition, simply because you get up to 1000 nits of brightness. That is very bright. On top of that, you've got always on display. That is if you want to drain your huge battery life, which actually goes up to 21 days. Well, that's the claimed battery life. The real battery life is around the 15-day mark, which is still amazing. But nonetheless, you get always on display here. You also get auto brightness, which is a really premium feature, which does help you save battery juice. So it's got an ambient light sensor, and that means that when it's really bright around you, the watch face lights up and becomes super bright so you can see what's written on there. When it's dark around you, the screen actually dims and saves the battery juice. So that's the display specs, which as you can see are absolutely great at this price point. So you can get this from the Amazfit store for 150 quid or around the 200 buck mark. So there is nothing around there today that you can get at the same price point. Well, maybe the Huawei Watch Fit 2, but we can talk about that later. I didn't feel that I was short of sport modes with the Amazfit GTR3, simply because it's got 150 sport modes. That's an amazing amount. That's absolutely more than enough for me. Now, I do enjoy running, I do boxing, I play tennis. I've actually just recently started HIIT workouts with F45, and this thing does cover me in all those respects. Also, I do swimming. Well, with the Amazfit GTR3, you actually get 5 auto-recognized strokes. So your breaststroke, your backstroke, your freestyle, your medley, as well as butterfly. Now, I haven't seen any smartwatch nor sport watch out there today that actually auto-recognize the butterfly stroke. So this is absolutely great from Amazfit GTR3. On top of that, we've got inbuilt GPS. In regards to GPS, well, we do have an accuracy test coming out between this watch and the all-new Huawei Watch Fit 2. So there we do a GPS accuracy test. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and don't miss that video, which will be coming out in the next couple of days. You've also got 4 auto-recognized activities on here. So that's your walking, your running, your elliptical train, as well as the rowing exercise. So this watch gets you covered completely and utterly in regards to sports. Now let's talk about the microphone, which is actually inbuilt, and you can see it on the side of your watch, just between the 2 buttons on its side. being a smartwatch these days is not easy. You have to be sporty, you have to be functional, you have to be health minded, and you must have all these tips and tricks on how to stay connected. So with this watch, it's not just the notifications that you get on the watch, like your calls, your texts, your emails, and so forth. With this watch, you get an inbuilt microphone. Now this inbuilt microphone allows you to do voice commands. Now voice commands are actually offline. That means that you can instruct the watch while, let's say, you're running, to open up your music controller or to stop and start a new sport mode. So this is very handy, especially if you don't want to be touching the watch screen. You can just do it via a voice command. On top of that, you also get Alexa, and you can actually use that if you do have an Amazon account. All you do is you sign in, and as long as your watch is connected via Bluetooth with your smartphone, you can use Alexa as your AI assistant. So very budget smartwatch, very premium features. But so far we've been talking about the sports and the smarts. Now let's get into the real cool thing about this watch. So something that was, well, pretty much one of the most decisive factors why I moved on from the Garmin Venu 2 to this bad boy. Let's talk about the Pi. So your Pi is your personal activity index. So all of the Xiaomi, including Huami, Amazfit, and Redmi wearables have this Pi metric. So the personal activity index is a very intelligent metric. What it says is that this index, which is just one number, it encompasses in it your last week's activity levels and the intensity at which you performed those activities. So basically, the harder you go and for the longer you do that particular activity, you will get a certain amount of Pi points for that activity. And the rule of thumb with the Pi index is that if your number is above 100 points, you're 25% less prone to getting heart disease. Now, for me, this was very important because, well, I do a lot of exercises here and there. I go out, I do things, but I want to see what's the result. Am I undertrained? Am I overtrained? Now, a lot of watches do offer your recovery times, but sometimes it can be off. I want to see what was my training actually worth. And this is what I get here with the Pi value. So basically, on Thursday night last week, I went for a hardcore 1 hour boxing session. And out of it, I got 44 Pi points. And that's probably well deserved because I was literally wiped out. So that was me boxing, and in my rest minutes, I was actually skipping. So heart rate was up there all the time. Then yesterday, on Friday, I had my F45 hit high intensity interval training. So there for 45 minutes, I could see that I gained 29 Pi. Great. Today, I'm actually strolling around this beautiful nature reserve on the coast of England, and I've done quite a few long trips, and I've done quite a bit of walking, just under 10k, and I can see that I've gained another 16 Pi today. So we can see my progress. Just over the last 3 days, I've gained nearly 100 Pi. So this Pi index basically keeps me on point. It's telling me, have I worked enough today or haven't I done enough today? When was the last time in the previous week that I've done well? And if I want to be training 5 times a week, well, as long as my Pi is over 100, I'm sort of happy. But of course, the more you push, the more points you are going to get out of it. Anyways, now let's get onto the 5th feature. Well, it's actually not one feature, it's a pack of features in this watch which make it the number 5 reason why the Amazfit GTR3 today is my favorite smartwatch. There is an absolutely amazing range of health metrics that you can get on this watch, and it's not just that they're there, they're also very accurate. So what you get here, first of all, sleep. Sleep monitoring is so important. Well, this thing gets it right. Not only do you get your going to sleep times as well as your awake times, you also get your deep, light, and REM sleep. At the end of your sleep, you actually get a score that tells you how well you've actually slept. And there are recommendations on how to improve that sleep quality. What I particularly like about the GTR3 is that if I do not want to go for the details to my app, I can actually see the details about my sleep right on the watch face. So there is a chart, I can see my heart rate plotted over it, and I can see my score for that night's sleep. Another really cool function of the sleep monitoring with the GTR3 is that as long as your naps are over 20 minutes long, this thing will also catch them. How cool is that? But that's not it. It's not just a sleep monitoring. You get continuous SpO2 on this watch. SpO2 being blood oxygen saturation monitoring. So you're basically getting it measured all the way throughout the day. Of course, mostly at night because you do have to be at rest. You get 24/7 heart rate monitoring here. You got 24/7 stress monitoring here. So basically, your health is completely covered by this watch. We've done SpO2 accuracy tests. This watch is on par. We've done numerous heart rate accuracy tests with this thing. We've done GPS accuracy tests. And so far, the GTR3 is just great in basically every single regard. And coming back to the question, well, why did I go from the Garmin Venu 2, which I've had for about 8-9 months, to this? Well, simply because it's just more comfortable. It feels better on my wrist. It doesn't feel as chunky, and I've got the Pi. I love the CPU speed. It's quick, it's so easy to use, and it looks a bit more, well, smart casual maybe. It's not as sporty. So in the office, this aluminium case, the aluminium finish here, it's sort of matte and a bit glossy, but more matte than glossy. It's got this very nice stylized rotatable crown on here, and all of this does give it a premium look, a premium feel, and super functional. If you have enjoyed the review, please drop me a like. If you want to see more of the same, you know what to do. Please hit the red subscribe button below the video, and I'll see you in the next one.